Hello, my beautiful souls. I would love to offer you a transmission. I just realized that my camera is doing this weird, crazy thing. Like, what is that? Do you think this is like the spiritual energy? Like the camera's like catching my aura or something? I don't know, but it's tripping me out. Like, that is so cool. Whatever's going on. Oh man, I love it. I love it. I love it. Let's just go with it. It's like giving me this halo effect. The light. Hopefully I don't need to get another computer, but the light is with us. The angels are with us. Let's activate the angelic forces to support us in this healing. All right, if you're new to my world, my name is Lisa. I am a hypnotherapist, a quantum mentor of activation and alchemy, and I'm also a kinesiologist. And I am a priestess in the sense that I have devoted my path to my spiritual path purely for the sake of living in my truth. It's not to be this identity. It's not to have this superiority. It's not to have this power. It was a decision that I made when I had my spiritual awakening and started this path where the most important thing for me is truth. And because truth is the most important thing, I'm going to live my truth. I'm going to speak my truth. I'm going to express my truth. I'm going to have the courage and the bravery to do something that maybe, just maybe, could be potentially difficult for others to do, which is step into this leadership position and to be a true individual on this planet, and to release myself from the family system's expectations and conditionings, to release myself from society's expectations and conditionings, to release myself from anything that is not of truth. And the reason why I'm sharing this is because I want to activate your truth and I want to release any part of you that is wearing a mask. Now you might say, but Lisa, like, I actually am authentic. I actually am wearing being honest with myself. I actually am expressing myself. But are you really? Or are there parts of your life that are still misaligned? Are you masking your true feelings? Are you living a double life? Have you integrated your spiritual world with your physical world? Do you only wear your spiritual hat when you're with certain people that see you and are in that consciousness? And then you're potentially, shape shifting and morphing yourself or contorting yourself, or diluting yourself to meet the person at hand, depending on their level of consciousness. Um, in what ways are you wearing a mask in your love life, in your career, with your family, with your friendships, with you and God? Because if the Creator is all present, omnipotent, omnipresent, then are you fully authentic to the omnipotent part of you that observes everything? Is the version of you at work the same version of you behind closed doors? Are you fully aligned? Is the version of you in your relationships the same version of you when you're by yourself? Because if you're giving unconditional love and pouring unconditional love and pouring light to everyone around you, but you're not doing it for yourself, and you're not being your own parent, and you're not being your own lover, and you're not being your own guru, and you're not being your own cheerleader, and you're not being your own confidant, then are you actually authentic? Or is that all just conditional love, a mask that you're playing, a role that you're playing, an identity that you're playing in order to fit in, to feel safe, to feel like you belong, to feel like you have a sense of purpose or ease? But really, behind closed doors, you're actually sad or you're actually depressed. Do you actually give yourself permission to feel all your feelings, all of them? Or do you sweep them under the rug and hope that like one day, someday when I truly am in the moment, I'm going to feel it? Because the reason why I ask all of these questions is that lately in clinic, all I've been doing is releasing toxic shame patterns and the realization that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 dynamics and syndromes of shame. So there's judgment, avoidance, suppression, resistance, denial, separation or disassociation, and control. How many of us are actually controlling the narrative when we are meant to trust and we're meant to choose what we want rather than what we don't want? How many of us are focusing our mental energy on all the things that we don't want instead of all the things that we do want? Because if we focused on what we do want, is it too good to be true? Or maybe we believe like nothing good lasts forever. Or maybe we believe in like nothing good sticks. Nothing good stays. Nothing good expands. That I have to struggle, that I have to strive, that I have to hustle, that I have to sacrifice. Can you see how many of us add so much more to the sweetness of life? We contaminate the sweetness of life through thought forms that are essentially, the example that I gave to my client is that you're in a garden and everything's beautiful. The sun is shining, the flowers are blooming, the birds are singing, the bees are out reproducing, creating whatever they're creating, the butterflies, everything's beautiful. And here you are walking around with gray glasses, seeing everything gray, when all you have to do is just take the glasses off and see the color that's all around you. Do you have control over your mind? Or do you feel like your mind has possessed you and has control over you? Now, I know more than anyone how negative thinking can feel out of control. But at the same time, with self-awareness, we can clear it all. So why can't you go into the light? Imagine the light and make the command, because you're not separate from the creator of all that is, super consciousness, which means the same thing. It is commanded that I release all shame, all judgment of myself, all avoidance of emotion, all suppression of emotion, all resistance to what is, all denial, separation and disassociation and control. And I allow for what I want to make manifest lovingly and easily, and to trust it wholeheartedly, and to have the patience and the tolerance to accept it and receive it. Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. Creator, teach me, show me, guide me how to see the color and the sweetness of life in everything that is unfolding for me. Teach me how to have the highest perspective, the big picture perspective, and to witness the totality that everything is manifesting in divine orchestration, with divine orchestration, with divine timing, with divine support, with divine love. Teach me, show me, and guide me. It is done. It is done. It is done. And then you allow the lights to rearrange, recalibrate, and refocus your consciousness on what you want, and you trust it wholeheartedly without a single doubt. Would you like to collapse all doubt now, knowing that it is the very moment that you release doubt that you allow yourself to be in unity with what it is that you want? Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. And so it is. So as you start recalibrating your consciousness to release all shame patterns that keep you in fear consciousness, fear-based consciousness, allow yourself to recognize that you have full power to cancel and delete any fear-based belief, that you no longer entertain self-sabotage, that you no longer find it's almost like there's a pain pattern of familiar energy and also relief that comes with self-sabotage. And the relief is that you don't have to show up. With self-sabotage, you don't have to go through the threshold. You don't have to step up. You don't have to do the thing. Because every good thing that comes to you, every sweet thing that comes to you, every gold thing that makes its way to you requires you to show up. It requires you to be the version of yourself that embraces and experiences that sweetness. And so you are stretching yourself. You are expanding yourself. So if this new manifestation and this sweetness that you want to experience is expanding you, think of it as something that you do at the gym. It's going to stretch you. It's going to push you. It's going to unlock that muscle to work for a short period of time for you to be the version of yourself that receives it. And so that happens for your masculine, but for your feminine, it's a whole nother different walking through the threshold. It's a descent. It's a descent from the mind into the heart. And so let's just trust that in your heart, you have all the answers. That in your heart, you have all the power. That in your heart, you have all the truth. That in your heart, everything that you've ever needed to succeed, to thrive, to prosper, to overcome, to heal, to repair, to regenerate, it all exists in your heart. There is nothing of lack in the truth of who you are. There is no lack. So would you like to take the gray glasses off and witness that? That it's all available for you? And would you like to deepen your meditation, your stillness, so that you can have the magic of revelation and the magic of confirmation be very, very obvious to you without you wobbling or filtering that confirmation with a thought form that doesn't belong in your field any longer? Would you like that? So as you take a deep breath in, we're going to release the dynamics and syndromes of shame. Judgment, when we make a feeling, circumstance, person, or our own selves wrong, therefore setting up our reason to block and avoid our emotions. Would you like to know how to live without making a feeling, circumstance, person, or your own selves wrong? And would you like to release setting up a reason to block and avoid your emotions? Would you like to acknowledge and accept shame for what it is? And to release shame is bad. Shame is the enemy. Shame is the opposition of self-esteem. Would you like to release all judgment dynamics between you and others and choose unconditional love? Would you like to choose unconditional love? Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. Avoidance. Because something has been judged as wrong, then we naturally avoid it, meaning we sidestep our feelings. I allow the free flow of shame within me and around me. So this avoidance creates social anxiety, indifference, addiction, compulsive behaviors, avoiding shame in everyday life. Would you like to release any sort of addictions that you have that are created from shame? And would you like to release any compulsive behaviors that are created from shame? And would you like to feel it to release it? And would you like to release any part of you that is making things wrong? Because the truth is that there actually isn't anything wrong, even if you feel that way. You might feel that way, but there's actually nothing wrong. There's life, there's the flow of unconditional love, but who are we to make it wrong? So let's release all avoidance patternings that are derived from shame and get you to feel to heal. And it doesn't have to be long. Why carry anything? So if you fear intimacy and closeness and vulnerability, and when someone gets really, really, really close to you, even like just literally like standing close to someone, where they can like feel your breath. How do you feel about that? Would you like to release the fear of closeness literally, but also the fear of closeness and intimacy emotionally? Because when you're in a sacred soul partnership, there's no hiding. I will guarantee you that most of you that I work with are now stepping into soul level relationships, soul level partnerships. There is no hiding from your mirror. So would you like to release you hiding from yourself by owning up to what it is that you're afraid of when you let someone into your heart and to truly see you? What are you afraid that they're going to see? You're afraid that they're going to see that underneath every layer of expression, underneath the mask that we all wear in this divine play called Leela. Are you afraid that they're going to see that I'm weak? I'm exposed. And what am I exposed of? That I'm actually just afraid of everything. I'm afraid to live. I'm afraid to trust. I'm afraid to be my authentic self. I'm afraid of unconditional love. I'm afraid of love because love requires me to be all of me, and I'm afraid of my totality. I'm afraid that all my parts will be seen, and there are some parts that I don't want anyone to witness. The part of me that is evil, that I've deemed evil, the monster, the addict, the broken, the demonic, the distasteful, the devil incarnate. Now, this is shame as evilness or lost spirituality, the ugly, the ungodly, the unholy. I'm afraid that they're going to see that and not love me anymore. I'm afraid that love is conditional. Or I'm afraid that even unconditional love cannot sustain what I've hidden or buried deep down inside across lifetimes. But as we make this aware, I'm sensing that all of that's disappearing. I don't have to protect the shame of that devil incarnate. That's not my main expression. I don't have to protect the part of me that thinks that I'm a psychopath. I don't have to protect the loathsome part of me, the gross part of me, the hatred part of me, the hateful part of me, the incomplete part of me, the incorrect part of me, the troublemaker part of me, the ugly or burdensome part of me. So, what is really the fear? Is it abandonment? Is it betrayal? Is it being left out in the cold? Is it exile? Is it being turned on, turned against, judged, manipulated, gaslit? We all have that deepest fear, the worst case scenario. Can we clear that now by allowing the divine white light to now move down from the heavens, from the cosmic realms, move through your crown and release all these shame patterns of judgment, avoidance, and shame as evilness or lost spirituality? I'm a bad person releasing. I'm a broken person releasing. I'm a bully. I'm contaminated. I'm corrupt. I'm a criminal. I'm a delinquent. I'm a demon. I'm demonic. I'm depraved. I'm a devil. All of these identifications, can we release that now from your DNA, from the womb, and from every single lifetime? I'm polluted. I'm a low life. I'm a sociopath. I'm tainted. I'm terrible. And what I'm getting is that every single person would have one of these things because the nature of duality is that we are both light and dark. And maybe, just maybe, when there was that original split from source energy in order for creation to come about, that in order for us to come back to our wholeness, we need to face that I can't trust God, source, universe frequency. We need to face that hateful frequency within us. I'm fundamentally flawed. We need to face that judgment and that experience that created that split from our wholeness, from our goodness, from our sweetness. It's like as we unite, ourselves, the earth, and the cosmos unite. And so, would you like to also release suppression, which is a symptom of shame, which is pushing things down in the unconscious, keeping them buried? It can relate to a particular emotion or a trauma. And would you like to know how to feel safe and appropriate for your feelings of shame to emerge, so that you can release the syndromes of this form of shame, which is perfectionism, superachiever, codependency, dependent, clinical depression, suppressing shame in everyday life? Would you like to release all suppression patterns now because they were too much for you to feel? And if I was to muscle test what you've suppressed, let's have a look. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 2. So what you've suppressed is the times that you've been judged harshly. That was really painful. Feeling abandonment through abuse, like you've suppressed some abuse that has happened to you, that you've also internalized and created your own abuse, and therefore abandoned yourself, or stayed in relationships that were abusive, or felt abusive, and therefore you've been abandoned or felt abandoned, and also adopted. Like, think of it more metaphorically speaking, like adopted. You've suppressed the feeling of that maybe you don't feel like you fully belong in your family system, and so you kind of have adopted yourself into a soul family. And you feel adopted. Like it's almost like your parents are not your actual parents, that like um have more of a bond or a connection with someone else, such as a grandmother or a grandfather, or um some kind of caretaker figure that is more on your soul level plane. You feel like maybe you're the black sheep of your family. So take it how it resonates in terms of the feeling of adopted. Or just like even, the symbolism of that, like someone that feels adopted, someone that has been adopted, then they don't know their origin. And if they do know their origin, they don't feel welcome to be included in that because they were given away. So there's a lot of unknowns. Maybe in a past life you were adopted, and just imagine what that would feel like. Maybe on a soul level, you've been adopted by your angels and your guides. Codependency. Codependency. So you also may feel like you've suppressed the parts of you that actually do rely on external forces and sources to be a source of stability, to be a source of security. So you've outsourced your stability and your security to other forces instead of being your own divine masculine of provision and providence. Like, why don't you feel secure within yourself to provide for yourself, to stabilize your own life? Why do you feel like something outside of you can only give you that or supply that? There's a belief there. I'm not capable. I'm not ready. I'm not potent. I'm not powerful. I need, when everything lives inside, inside. Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. There's separation, splitting off self as a means to section off an emotion or a traumatic event. I accept, embrace, and unify with the feeling of shame. Would you like to release all disassociation patterning? And one of the disassociation patterning is an addiction. And would you like to release all addictions, knowing that you don't need any force, source, substance, behavior, compensation mode to deal with this separation energy? Would you like to accept, embrace, and unify with the feeling of shame to release that feeling of shame? And would you like to release all control? And some of the energies that create control is contaminated, corrupt, criminality. Give me more information. Let's release some shame of you feeling like a delinquent, corrupt, contaminated, like a criminal. Let's clear your past lives around that too. And let's release some of the paranoia and belief or self-suspicion that you have around your personal narcissistic behaviors and disorders. This is coming up, paranoid and narcissistic disorders. Let's release you from believing that you are a narcissist. It's the belief I'm a narcissist. It's like the self-diagnosis. I hear it all the time. I hear it all the time. And let's just release that. Can we release resistance? Struggling against an emotion, trying to subdue or change it? I surrender into the feeling of shame for my highest potential. I release projection, people pleasing, approval seeking, hyper rationalism, and resisting shame in everyday life. What's the emotion? Devil incarnate. I release the resistance to feeling my devilish side, and I release the judgment of what that actually means. So this is really powerful because you're being asked to feel these energies and these emotions so that you are genuinely shame-free. And by releasing this toxic shame, you're releasing toxic behavior. And by releasing toxic behavior, you're releasing toxicity from your body. And your body's starting to experience this sense of alkalinity. So we're also releasing shame as exclusion, community shunning or exclusion, drop dead, drop dead, drop dead. Would you like to release any part of you that feels like an alien, alienated, banned, black sheep, bullied, community shunning or exclusion, drop dead, eliminated, feeling like a reject, forgotten, immigrant, introvert, invisible, kept out, left out, less important, like I don't belong, lone wolf, lonely, loner, maverick, misunderstood, newcomer, nonconformist, not belonging in family, with peers, in group, through caring, not safe to need community and connection, the odd one out, the outlander, the outsider. Would you like to release that now? Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. So we're just going to go up into the seventh plane of existence, pure source light. I want you to close your eyes and I want you to imagine that you are entering into a quantum lift. It is light. It looks like heaven. It's a lift that would be there if you were in heaven. As you take a deep breath in and down, I want you to walk into this lift. And I want you to press the button, and the button says the seventh plane of existence of source light, unconditional love energy. Press it. The lift that is light closes and it travels at the speed of light. It goes all the way up through all these lights. 1, 2, 3. It's at the speed of light, the speed of light, the speed of light. It's like a quantum rocket lift. And the doors open and there you are. You walk out of this lift and it is a sea of pure energy, of pure energy, of pure energy, of pure energy. Just see that ocean of pure, iridescent, pearlescent, divine white light. I want you to pretend that you are a sea man and a sea woman, like a mermaid or a merman, and you're like diving into the sea of energy, and you're letting your hair receive it, and you're letting your body receive this pure source light. Super conscious. It is commanded that we activate the release of shame as unwanted exposure, releasing all attention seeking, laughing stock, awkwardness, bashful, being burnt emotionally, belittled, breach of etiquette, burdened, called names, caught off guard, clumsy, klutzy, coward, cursed. Release shame as lost creativity. Release the feelings of unfruitful, ungifted, unimpressed, unmoved, uninspired, uninventive, terrible, self-righteous, sexual shame, monotonous, lifeless, flat, futile, depressed, curious, colorless, can't do it right, never good enough, it's never enough. Shame as disappointed expectation, anti-climax, I can't trust others, I can't trust the world, I can't make the A-team. Life is a letdown. I am a letdown. I feel sad. I feel weak. Releasing all shame as disappointed expectation. Releasing shame as unrequited love, brokenhearted, burden, coercion, craving, cruel, defective, depreciated, detestable, disagreeable, dislikable, fear of love, marriage, I am faulty, feeling unworthy of being listened to, hopelessness, ignored, impolite, improper, inappropriate. My needs, safety, wants are not important. Shame as betrayal, adultery, backstabbing, badmouth, betrayed, deceived, blamed for others' faults, blameless, broken beliefs, broken promises, choices taken away. I can't speak or not know what to say. Cheated, robbed, cheating, conned, cunning, deceit, disloyalty, double cross, duplicity, fake, wearing a mask, all masks through shame. Shame as exclusion, alienated, banned, that I'm being left out, that people are avoiding me, that I'm uncool, unpopular, unwelcome, unwanted, weird, weirdo, that I'm not one of us, overlooked, picked on, second tier, outsider, outlander, not safe to need community. Shame as abandonment, prejudice, rejected, replaceable, separation, severed, stranded, stroke deprivation, unable to differentiate between illusion and reality, unable to think for self, feeling unwanted, unessential, out of touch with reality, shame as abuse, neglected, overburdened, overworked, persecuted, physical beatings, self-blame, sexual assault, taken apart, taken advantage of, trash, used, abused, exploited, victimized, vilified, violated, war, wanting to live, violence, victim, maltreatment, manhandled, mistreatment. I'm to blame for everything. Dehumanizing, destroyed, superconscious release shame as evilness, low life, jailbird, rule breaker, scum, shocking, sinful, sinner, smelly, sociopath, trespasser, troublemaker, ungodly. Release all shame patterns now, judgment, avoidance, suppression, resistance, denial, disassociation, and control. Creator of all that is, it is commanded that I now see life in its color, that I now release all masks that I believed were required for safety, that I actually know how to speak the truth, that I actually know how to confront the truth, that I actually know how to express myself fully with the other without wearing a mask, that I am able to speak the truth, live the truth, and be in my truth without shame, that I feel safe to express my feelings to another, express my love to another, express my truth to another, and receive that same treatment in return, that I feel safe to receive others expressing their feelings to me, that it's safe to create boundaries with the family, that it's safe for me to have my own individuality and identity without having to be codependent, without feeling like I need to fulfill others' expectations of me, that I need to have high standards of myself in order to fit in and feel like I belong. Superconscious, release this now, release this now, release this now through the seventh plane energy of pure source light, pure unconditional love. May I rest in living my authentic self and knowing how to. It is done, it is done, it is done, and so it is. I release wearing a mask. I release masking my feelings. I release others wearing a mask. I release others masking their feelings. It's safe to live my truth. It's safe to move on. It's safe to be seen, and it's safe to see myself. Thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done. And so it is. So that's just a little bit of an activation for you. I'm going to see you guys soon for the next one.